Vern Kyle here. This footage is from the summer of 2023. I'm going to show you how I fix my mistakes. The grade here turned out a little bit low, so I'm placing a few centimeters here and there. Hopefully you enjoy the video. On this piece we're working in 20 mil gravel, and the string line is set up. We are preparing the base for a monowalk. So for now, we're not concerned with the center of the street. We're only concerned with the outside perimeter. In front of me, you see a cut of 2 centimeters and a cut of 2 centimeters. And that's exactly what we're looking for. Once we are done preparing the base for this monowalk, the gumaco is going to latch onto that string line and it'll trim this right to grade. So ideally they would like about 2 centimeters to trim. And you see on the left hand side we got a little bit of fill. Here we're coming up to a fill of 2, fill of 2. You see the numbers are circled. Here we're coming up to some more fills, fill of 2, fill of 4. And you see, that's no good, because when the gumaco's coming down here to trim, he's going to start seeing daylight at these fills. Especially at that fill of 4. At the fill of 2, he might be right on grade, but yeah, there's a fill of 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to place a precise windrow on those fills, and I'm going to smear it in with my back blade. Don't forget, on these mono berms, we're looking for 2% slope toward the street. This is a pretty typical scenario, but it's not that hard to fix, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Now you see, before these berms are trimmed, they're a little extra wide, so that's where I could find the material. So I'm making the initial pass here and generating some gravel. You have to be a little bit careful when you're doing this because there is wick drain down there. You gotta make sure you don't want to clip that wick drain with the blade. I just turned the grader around and I'm back on the same windrow. I'm paying attention to those fill numbers on top of the berm, and I'm placing this windrow very precisely. I'm actually covering up one of the numbers, but I'm deliberately leaving the outside number so I can see it when I'm placing the gravel in reverse. Now here I am placing the 20 mil gravel with the back blade, and I'm fully aware that there's nothing behind me. I like to do it this way because I can see the gravel flowing underneath my blade, and I can gauge the amount of fill that's going in a lot better this way. And I'm also watching that outside fill number and trying to hold on 2% at the same time. I just speeded up the video a little bit here so you don't fall asleep on me. Now I'm holding this 2% just by eye because I can't use my slope meter. Now we'll water the top of this berm and run the rubber tire packer over it. But I like to wheel pack it just real close to the string to make sure it gets packed in there. Here's some footage from Onboard the grader. I have the camera attached to my hard hat. We're going to do the same thing here. We are placing some fills on this berm. I can generate some material from the side of the berm because it's a little extra wide before it's trimmed. There's a gray dot behind me there. I've seen a cut of 3. And like I say, there is a wick drain down there, so you have to be a little bit careful when you're doing this that you don't snag the wick drain. But after a while, you get to know where it is. I'm about a half a meter from it yet. Now I'm going to place this windrow onto the center, and I'll probably cover up my first number. I'll cover up that dot, but I'll leave the outside numbers so I can see them. There's a fill of 2, and I'm trying to place this windrow very precisely so that it smears in there good when I'm backblading it in. Here we'll go and backblade it in. I'm trying to hold on about 2% as I'm doing this, and I'm watching the string line there. Here goes the fill of 2. There you go. And that should work out not too bad. There's a grade. Now I'm just going to go forward, I think, and just throw a little bit in here with the forward blade. You see, when you're using your forward blade, you really can't see the gravel. When you're doing small amounts like this, you're just kind of guessing a little bit where the gravel is because you really can't see it. I installed extra wide rear view mirrors. They're actually off a 980 loader. This 20 mil gravel is Standard General's own mix, and it's really nice to work with. It comes out of Whitecourt, Alberta, on the rail. And the main reason that it's so nice to work with and such good quality is that it's crushed from about 6-inch pit run, huge pit run. So even the fines have a lot of fracture. It's some of the nicest gravel I've ever worked with in my life, actually. Now I put in my first little windrow there. I found some gravel along the edge where the berm is wide. And now I'm just going to put the windrow over a little bit better. I'm trying to get quite precise on the way I place this windrow. I was thinking about backblading it in there, but then I decided just to move it over a little farther. You see, like I say, when I place this windrow, I try to place it very precisely, so that when I backblade it in, it's easier to get it in the right spot. Here we got grades. We got grades on the top of the berm here. And yeah, I'll just put this windrow over a wee bit more. There's a fill of 3 right there. There's a fill of 2 behind it. Fill of 2. I'm probably trying to memorize these numbers as I'm doing it. Now, when I'm talking about these numbers, I'm referring to centimeters. When I'm backing up, I'm always paying attention to what's behind me, either in my mirror or in my backup camera. I'm still not happy about where I placed this windrow, so I'm just adjusting it one more time just to make sure that I have it exactly where I want it, so that when I backblade it in, it goes in exactly where I want it. There's a fill of 2. Here we're coming up to a fill of 3, and another fill of 2, and then there's a cut of 2. Now you notice how I tilt my blade down a little bit right here. That seems to make quite a difference sometimes to do that. See, I know I need to get it close to the string line, so I tilted it down just to squeeze the gravel in there a little bit more. See, now I'm coming pretty close to the string line here right now. I'm only about 10 centimeters from the string itself probably, so you have to be a little careful with that. I'm trying to hold on 2% and putting in these fills. And hopefully that should work out pretty good. We'll measure this, we'll water it, pack it, and measure it again, and hopefully it'll turn out pretty good. I'm just going to take the time to wheel pack it real close to the string, because sometimes it's hard for the packer to get in there real close to the string without hitting the string. Earlier on in the video, I mentioned that I can't use my slope meter. Now I want to show you why. Now you can see my slope meter out in front of me there, and the bubble on my slope meter right now is way over at 12%, although the slope on the berm is only about 2%. And you see, that's because I have one wheel up and one wheel down. One of my driver wheels is up near the string line and the other one is down in the gutter. That's why sometimes the slope meter, it's best if you don't even look at it. In order for the slope meter to be useful, your driver wheels need to be on solid ground and in the appropriate spot, if you get what I mean. Now here we have some different material. It is the 63 mil. This is this recycled material. And also, here we're not playing with the berm. This is just straight face curb. There's a fill of 2, and behind us there was a fill of 4. So I'm generating some material here, bringing in a windrow. There's a grade dot right in front of the blade. Now I'm going to get in front of this little pile and drag it backwards. This string line shows up a little bit better because it's a yellow colored string line. Here we go. Just drag this stuff into position. And you see now I want to be completely level. Instead of 2%, I want to be at 0% this time, because you see the bottom of the curb is completely level. And there you go. This material seems like it's nice and damp. I think it was just raining a day before we were doing this. And the best way to pack this is with the pad foot. Nailer with a pad foot, and that should take care of it. I hope you learned something from this video, and we will see you next time.